Welcome scientists, engineers, and pilots. You were each selected for your leadership skills and your skill sets to take on this mission. 3 months ago, Duna Base went silent. The Jebquiem probe assigned to the area was reassigned to turn its sensors on Duna Base. These are the photos that were sent back. As you can see here, the base was shut down, the rover was docked at the base, and the mining truck was parked and shut down as well. There are no life signs. I'm sure you're all familiar with the Sativa Station and Science Station Alpha. They have been reactivated and prepped for this mission. Team on the right, you'll be assigned to Sativa Station. Team on the left, you're assigned to Science Station Alpha. Now let me give you a brief history of the launches of both stations and subsequent retiring of both stations. Year 68, Day 42. Sativa Station is prepped and ready to launch. After the plague decimated 3/4 of the population of Kerbin, it took 68 years before they were able to launch any type of mission into space. At this point in recovering technology, they tended to believe in brute force, adding more and more boosters until it got into space. While Sativa Station was under construction, a Jebquiem unit centuries old was found out in the desert. It was reverse engineered, and Jebquiem was brought back to life. It was used in the launch of this vessel. At this point, you'll notice the extreme vibrations through the station. This is why the station was launched empty and run by Jebquiem. The crew would be launched on a smaller rocket at a later time. Once the station was on its own power, the shimmy stopped. For 11 years, the station traveled between Kerbin, Moon, and Minmus carrying out its missions. It was retired in year 79 and set in orbit and filled with a skeleton crew. "124 days after Sativa Station was retired, Science Station Alpha was ready to launch. With this craft, they made it smaller so they were able to encapsulate it in a ferry, and the launches were much easier. Science Station Alpha's first mission was to return all the engineers and scientists from Moon and Minmus to Kerbin. Then it would be refueled and sent to Duna to oversee the building of Duna Station. Duna Station was actually built by Jebquiem-equipped droids. The brothers Bill and Jebediah Kerbin were the first Kerbals to take up residence on the face of Duna. It was year 81, day 14. 2 weeks later, Science Station Alpha would begin its journey back to Kerbin to refuel and restaff. Year 83, day 52, Science Station Alpha was ready to return to Duna to restock Duna Station and to collect all the science they had claimed so far. It was year 85, day 187, when Science Station Alpha returned to Duna for the second time and took up orbit. Jebediah chose to remain on Duna, while Bill chose to return home. 2 other Kerbals were assigned to take Bill's place. Science Station Alpha would remain in orbit around Duna for 28 days before returning to Kerbin. Science Station Alpha was slated for retirement when it returned to Kerbin 12 weeks ago. Now, this is the heart of the mission. Help finish with the prep and updating of the systems on board, then combine both stations into one, Duna Station Alpha. You will travel to Duna and investigate. The Duna probe also sent these pictures. Magnified. Magnified. One more time, magnified. This wreck was not here before. It's approximately 11 kilometers from the base. This mission is secondary to finding Jeb and his crew. You are each the department head for your particular field. Gather your crew and prep for launch. Crew shuttles launch in 5 days. 14 days after the crews took over their respective stations, they were ready to dock the two together. It was decided that Mech Jeb would control the docking procedures so that there would be no Kerbal screw-ups. It was the first time two crafts of this size would be docked together. This was a momentous occasion. That very day, a launch was scheduled to refuel and add a booster stage to the stations. The booster was meant to take the stations out to Duna and then be discarded. The stations themselves did not have enough fuel for a round trip. This flight and subsequent docking was also controlled by MechJeb. Unfortunately, due to a Kerbal math error, the booster did not have enough fuel to completely fuel the station and be full itself. It ended up using a portion during the circularization and docking. Within a few days, they had another rocket ready, this one equipped with a claw so it could attach straight to the booster and give it the fuel needed to get them to Duna. So in true Kerbal fashion, this is a refueler for the refueler. Once the station and booster were refueled, this one would stay in orbit until needed in the future. The nose cones of this craft were also filled with tasty snacks to last them for the journey. As the refueler was closing in on the stations, they were blessed with a Kraken's Eye eclipse. The docking procedures were controlled remotely by a pilot on the station. As mentioned once before, the refueler will be left in orbit in case it is needed in the future. Year 87, Day 51, Duna Station Alpha leaves orbit and heads towards Duna. Once they're out of Kerbin's gravity well, they will adjust their course for a better approach to Duna. When Duna Station Alpha achieves a stable orbit, the crews and dropships will be prepped to descend to the surface. Main mission objective: reactivate Duna Base and investigate the disappearance of Jebediah Kerbin. Secondary mission objective: investigate the crash site 11 kilometers away from Duna Base. The third part of the mission is to reoccupy Duna Base and expand and prep for future colonization.